Well, awesome. Welcome, everyone. Just before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to silence their cell phones and turn off any recording devices. A video of the presentation will be made available at some point in the coming weeks. So, welcome to Ads as Your Asset, improving the player experience. My name is Shazad Mohamed. I'm the product lead for trust and safety at Unity. I'm incredibly excited to welcome all of you here today. This afternoon, we're going to cover how you can incorporate ads into your game to both bring value to your players while allowing you to earn revenue you need to manage and grow your business. Joining me today are two gaming experts that will provide you with actionable best practices based on their experiences that you can implement into your games. To kick it off, I'll pass it over to Kelly so she can introduce herself.
Hi guys, my name is Kelly and I'm the Senior Director of Ad Monetization at Pixel United. We have partnered with Unity Technology for a few years now and on various games, including Evermerge from Big Fish Games. And now I would like to introduce to Bryan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bryan Streit, and I'm a partner manager of publisher operations at Unity Technologies. I've had the privilege of working with Kelly to manage and optimize Pixel United's monetization strategy. I'm excited to connect with you all today about the work Kelly and I have done to ensure Pixel United's players benefit from a positive ad experience. And now I will pass you back to Shazad.
Awesome. Thanks. So our objective today is to walk you through real-life examples of how Kelly and Bryan have helped Pixel United integrate ads into Evermerge in ways that were both useful and impactful for their players. By the end of the session, we hope you'll walk away with three core learnings. The first is an understanding of the core components of in-game ad design. The second are best practices for building a strong monetization strategy based on Pixel United's lessons. And the third are actionable takeaways for monetization and retention strategies that you can actually implement in your own games. Before I hand the mic over to Kelly and Bryan, I'd like to understand the audience's perception of including ads in your games. And to get a sense of your knowledge here, I'll ask you a quick quiz question. So, true or false, including ads in my game will cause a negative player experience and hurt my player retention? If you think the answer is true, raise your hand. Okay, and if you think the answer is false, raise your hand. So it seems like there's a pretty equal split between the two groups there. If you answered false, you're correct. Including ads in your game can actually be positive for player retention. In Unity's 2022 gaming report, we analyzed data from over 250,000 developers, looking at 750,000 apps on our network to understand the impact that ads have on retention. And as you can see, player retention related to ads can actually be net positive for a game. Now, you might be asking, how is this possible? How is it possible that ads can actually be improve player retention over time? That's one of the things that we're actually going to show you today. When ads are integrated in the right way and shown at the right time with the right content, they can actually be a great way to keep players engaged while also monetizing your game. Pixel United has seen the value of adding ads to their game for quite some time. And I'm going to pass it off to Kelly, who's going to provide a bit of background on her studio, the games that she works on, and the best practices she's learned from her years of experience in gaming. Kelly?
Thank you, Shazad. As you guys know, Pixel United is one of the world's most diverse and best performing mobile-first games portfolio, spanning the multiple key game genre across 3 major operating businesses, including Product Madness based in United Kingdom, Plarium based in Israel, and Big Fish Games, USA, with over 20 creative studios located across the globe. That's a bit about Pixel United. And today we're going to talk about Evermerge. Evermerge is from Big Fish Games. Today, myself and Bryan will provide real-life examples and the best practices that we identify when we conducted a teardown in this game, Evermerge. Evermerge is a magical world that gets bigger and better each discovery. It is a match 3 and a combo. It's a merge game that brings you one step closer to becoming a merge master. Evermerge has received over 14.9 million downloads so far since the launch, and is ranked number 3 in the merge game in the market. Now that you have a bit of a context about our studio and our game, let's dive into the best practices you should keep top of your mind, determine how to incorporate monetization and retention strategy into your game. Bryan and I refer to this as a core components of our in-game ad design. Now I'm gonna pass it off to Bryan.
Thank you, Kelly. So in Unity's years of experience of in-game ads, we have identified 4 steps for building an impactful ad experience. Let's review these steps and learn how Pixel United has seen success incorporating them in their ad strategy. So first is to determine your advertising goals. So these advertising goals are you trying to make money? Are you trying to increase retention? Or are you trying to convert payers into players with your IAP? Next, you want to identify monetization retention opportunities in your game loops. There are 2 core game loops that we look at Unity, and that is your primary progression loop and then your secondary loop. And each loop provides opportunities to seamlessly implement ads in order to provide value to your players. Step 3 is then implement monetization retention opportunities. Once you've identified the proper opportunities and surfacing points in your game loops, the next step is to pick your tactics so you can achieve your goals. Using the right ad format at the right time will lead to a positive player experience that will encourage players to take the actions that you need and help you on your way to your goals. And then step 4 is to measure and optimize. Once you have implemented your ad strategy, it is crucial to have the right tools in place to track performance and optimize based on data and not assumptions. To help you wrap your head around how you can use this framework in your game, Kelly and I will walk you through how she and the Pixel United team have used this framework in Evermerge. So step 1, determine your advertising objectives. Kelly's going to walk you through her advertising objectives for Evermerge.
Thank you, Bryan. As I mentioned, Evermerge has been downloaded by 14.9 million users since the launch and has been driving positive results for Pixel United. As we were in the process of building our game, we decided to determine key surfacing points to include ads in order to provide a seamless ad experience and a positive experience for the users. Now, our goal was to provide a positive and experience for the users that provide value in return to them as they progress throughout the game. We reached out to Unity and Bryan in order to help them break down our game so we could identify where we could create new surfacing points in our games. And we narrowed it down to these 3. 1, monetize player base. 2 is improve player retention. 3, convert players to payers. Even though it's through advertising, our main objective is to convert players to payers. And I'm gonna hand it over to Bryan.
Thank you. All right, step 2, identify monetization retention opportunities in your game loops. Games are made up of typically 2 core game loops, your primary and your secondary. Once Kelly and I discussed the Pixel United's advertising objectives, we went over these loops and understood how to add ads to the game. So we can take a look here. Based off of the core and secondary loop, implementations are very similar, but depending on your goals, implementations of the different ad units are different. So if you want to monetize your player base, and we'll discuss this further on in the presentation, but if you want to monetize your player base, placing interstitials at the end of game turns, at the end of game ends, is a great way to have a natural breakpoint in your game. Next is converting players to payers. Offering rewarded video to show the actual value of your IAP, your in-app purchases, power-ups in the in-game economy will entice users to, in the future, understand the value of it and then buy when the opportunity arises. And the next is to encourage the retention. For retention, we often like to offer rewarded videos at points of the game that would allow the player to continue playing if they've lost a level or unlock a power-up or extend a timer, depending on how your game is structured. So that way the player can easily watch an ad and then continue to play the game and complete the level so they can move on next. Next, Kelly is going to talk to you about the game loops of Evermerge.
To help make it more clear how ads complement our game loops, I will walk you through how we have identified where we seamlessly integrated ads in Evermerge's game loop. Our core and secondary loops consist of 3 phases. 1, action. In this action phase, players drag and organize and merge items into to complete quests and unlock more areas. Player needs to merge at least 3 items or more to unlock coins, wands, or additional items to merge to receive a bigger or valuable items. 2, reward and power-ups. In this phase, players match and merge items to build castles and unlock and collect both classic characters and fantastical creatures. The more items are merged, the higher the reward and the more soft currency is sourced. Lastly, expansion. Once players have completed multiple levels, they have the ability to remove fog or unlock new area to expand their map. Thinking about these 3 phases and where ads fit in can help to encourage players to want to keep playing the game to unlock new content and progress in their quest.
Thank you. And step 3, implementing the strategies to improve your player's experience. So we typically see 3 different types of ad placements. We're going to cover 2, interstitial ads and rewarded video ads for this presentation. Interstitial ads typically cover the entire screen and are best shown at natural breakpoints in the games. Using interstitial ads as a transition between the end of level and a main menu feels natural and doesn't break the flow, allowing you to monetize your user base more efficiently without harming retention. Next is using rewarded video ads to improve player retention. So if your goal is to improve player retention, rewarded video ads provide players with the ability to earn useful items that will help them progress through the core loop. Rewarded ads are ads that typically cover the entire screen, are set as non-skippable, and are opt-in. So your player will click on the watch a rewarded video ad, and they will receive a reward. These work best during moments where players are naturally expecting a reward, a valuable item or in-game currency. Players agree to watch a short ad in return for something valuable to them, and it's your job to make sure that that item fits. In Evermerge, one servicing point where we have implemented rewarded ads is including a floating purple play icon above an item. When players click on the icon, they are provided with 3 videos to watch in order to receive valuable items such as a wooden frame or a ruby that allows players to complete their quests faster. Our next goal is converting players to payers. One method for this is to provide in-app purchases to encourage players to pay real money to obtain items to help them progress through the core loop. Example of IAPs include an extra life, an upgrade to speed up a task, cosmetic items for a character, or hints for a puzzle. Instead of showing ads, games can make money by having players pay to improve their game experience. Evermerge offers rubies to players for a specific dollar amount, and players can purchase multiple rubies that will help them complete levels easier and faster without having to watch rewarded video ads. For storefronts like this, however, we will often recommend rewarded video ads as a low-risk entry point for players to understand the true value of the IAP, thus encouraging them to purchase in the future. And then step 4, measure and optimize. So as an ad monetization professional, and bear with me on that one, 3 metrics that we live by are the cost per impression, CPM, or cost per mille, cost per 1,000 impressions, IMPDAU, impressions per daily active users, and ARPDAU, average revenue per daily active user. Once you've identified the right servicing points in your game loops and implemented the right ad formats that will complement your player's game experience, it's important to use these metrics to get a full understanding of how your ads business is actually performing. The next type of way that we like to use reward video ads is to further progression the game by offering rewards with ads. So in order to encourage player engagement and retention, we saw an opportunity in EverMerge to include rewarded video ads for a player who's completed a level to further reward the celebratory moments in the gameplay. Placing rewarded videos at level ups, end of levels, and other moments of progression further rewards the players who have completed the progression loops. EverMerge had already done a great job of implementing these types of ads with natural pauses in the gameplay. However, one area that we felt could be optimized was the performance of the call to actions, or the buttons. I recommended that they change the color of the awarded ad call to action to make it pop for players so you can see it more visibly. So in the example that we have here, instead of having two green buttons, we have a complementary blue button for the awarded video ad and a green button to continue. This allows the player to really see that and make the choice whether or not they want to power up the reward via rewarded video ad or continue on playing. Call to action optimizations can increase the performance of your ads and require minimal development resources, making it very easy to get on your product roadmap. Another opportunity that we identified was including contextual ads by providing rewarded videos to provide a quick win for players early on in the gameplay. We recommended tailoring ads to create more value by providing contextual ads that seamlessly support players' advancement in game loops. We identified opportunities for EverMerge to provide players extra currency and power-ups in order to encourage continued gameplay. If players do not have the items that they need to continue to progress through the game, they simply will just stop playing. So offering rewarded video ads in moments where a player might run out of currency or have a low wallet will keep them invested in your game and can be used to encourage repeat sessions per day. And next up, Shazad will talk to you about blocking ad content. Oh, my apologies. The last recommendation that I gave to Pixel United was to block the ad content that was not relevant and impactful for their player base by using our ad controls feature. Since they know their players and their interests best, we recommended viewing ad creatives shown their game weekly to ensure that the ads that were shown were relevant and provided value. Kelly?
We were in early beta test for this ad control and currently use a feature weekly basis. It was a lot when actually Bryan recommended we do this weekly. As we all know, that is, ad monetization itself is a lot of work. So when he added on top weekly task, it was a lot to begin with. But when we actually start doing it and going over our creatives weekly, it did help us narrow it down to see what the advertisements are currently running, and to identify and block every time our users complain or write us a ticket about. As we know, we all have that pain point. So even though we are early beta test for ad control, we are fully adopted, and we currently use it on a weekly basis.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Bryan and Kelly, for providing us with those examples and best practices. Hopefully you got just a glimpse of how ads can be used as a way to improve and enhance player retention in your games. At Unity, we want you to have the tools that you need to build, manage, and grow your player retention and monetization strategy. And as part of that, here are some tools that we provide to our customers to help them do that today. One of the things that Kelly just mentioned was the ad controls feature. And part of ad controls is a capability that we call ad review. Ad review provides developers an easy way to search, view, and if necessary, block specific ads that are running in their games. Ad review provides transparency about what ad content is running, so that developers can ensure that they meet their brand safety standards and player expectations. With ad controls, developers can search for specific ads using a number of pre-built filters, including ad type, geography, specific dates, a specific advertiser, and a number of other related options. Once you identify an ad that you want to review, you can use it using our preview tools and see a full video preview of the ad content that's shown. And finally, if you need to block ads that don't meet your brand safety standards, you can go back and individually identify ads that you want to filter out, and go back at some point down the line and even unblock them if your business requirements change down the line. The goal of ad review is to put control into the hands of developers so they can determine what's right for their game titles. Features like this enable more granular control and decisions so you can balance achieving your revenue goals while providing the best player experience. Another part of the ad controls feature is the ability to block specific categories, apps, and age ranges that you want for advertisers that are showing on your game. When you block advertisers, using ad controls will actually show you the estimated revenue impact that your game will experience when you implement that block. So you have all of the relevant information that you need to make an informed judgment about your blocking and revenue optimization for your game. And finally, we have Unity Ads reporting, which helps you make optimizations based on data and not assumptions. It allows you to set your own KPIs, measure the success of your monetization and retention optimizations, and also provides detailed graphs and custom reports that you can have scheduled to be sent directly to your inbox. You can use pre-built filters to monitor your KPIs and identify opportunities to optimize your player retention and monetization strategy. So thank you all for joining us today to learn about best practices for incorporating ads into your game. When done right, ads can provide value to players while allowing you to make the revenue you need to operate your game while expanding your game content. To learn more about Unity Ads and Unity Gaming Services, stop by our booth or schedule time with an advertising expert. I think we have a few minutes left before the end of the session, so if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask our experts, please come up to the mics, and we're happy to answer those. Thank you.
Great.